Alright, so this week I having some tech issues. So my computer started showing me some error messages and giving me like a recommended service thing. I'm not really a tech guy, so I didn't really dig too deep into it. All I know is that I have to take my computer to an authorized Apple shop and have them work on it. So the closest one is all the way out in Chino, and it's not that far from where I am, but Chino is kind of is a place for sure. Alright, laptop is dropped off. This repair company, this certified Apple repair company. Little bummed out. It's gonna take about maybe 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks for it to all get taken care of. They have to send it out, send it back. So I don't have my laptop for a little while, so that's a bit of a bummer. Hopefully I can survive without it, but we'll go from there. So, since I had to drive all the way out here to drop off my computer, I figured I'll just spend the day in Chino because I'm already all the way out here. And it's kind of putting me in a bit of a reflective mood because I used to live here for a couple years actually. So I moved up to Washington. I lived there for almost 4 years, from 2015 to 2019. And while I enjoyed a lot of my time up there, and I loved a lot of things about it, now that I look back on it, I kind of look at it as more of a distraction. Because I didn't succeed in the career that I thought I was going to build. I didn't really make a lot of friends. I made some friends, but not a lot of friends. And then for pretty much the entire time, I didn't work on any creative projects, which is probably the biggest reason why I feel like I wasted a lot of my time up there. Yeah, and because of that, when I decided to move back to California, I kind of feel like I had just completely started over from where I left off when I left, and I didn't have any progress. I didn't have any growth, and that was kind of a tough thing for me to swallow, a tough realization for me to have when I got back. So when I decided to move back to California, I lived here in Chino, or technically Ontario, but around the border of Chino and Ontario. And while it was a very heavily transitional period in my life, I really enjoyed living here. And I lived on a farm, and there's a lot of open space, a lot of freedom, and I lived with my best friend at the time. And really it was just a good time all the time. And on top of that, Chino's a pretty cool place. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of places to eat, and plus, it's like 30 minutes from Orange County, and maybe on a good day, 40 minutes from LA. So Chino is a pretty awesome place to live, and I really, really enjoyed it here. But after a few years, and without getting into too much detail, I had to move out and move back in with my parents, which even more so made me feel like I had gone full circle from the time that I had left to the time that I came back. And it was a tough thing to try to understand at the time. But the important part about all this is that I'm in a pretty good place, I think, in my life right now, personally. And I look back on maybe the last 6 or 7 years of my life, and while I don't really like the choices that I made and the way that I chose to spend my time, I'm trying my best to look at it as a learning experience and as a way to help pave the next part of my life journey. And right now I feel like I'm going in the right direction. I feel like I'm really making the right choices, making the right moves. And the majority of who I am now and where I'm in life now comes down to the 2 years I spent recovering in Chino, getting my life back together and getting back on my feet. So I kind of owe a good part of my life to that, you know? It's kind of funny how a place can kind of evoke those memories and remind you of a specific time of where you were and who you were at a specific point in time, and Chino kind of does that for me. So while I don't really spend a lot of time here anymore and I don't live here anymore, I do miss it in a lot of ways, and I think it'll always be a time in my life that I remember being pretty important to the direction of my life. So yeah. Anyway, that's this week's vlog, and I'll see you guys next week.